Welcome to the Home Designer Bath and Lighting demonstration. My name is Emily and I will be presenting with the Home Designer Professional today. Before we get started with our bath design, let's get into the GoToMeeting control panel. You have a few different options, but the standard is use mic and speakers to listen to this today. Since there are so many people in today's class, I do have everybody muted. So you won't be able to speak through a mic, but you'll be able to chat, and I'll get into that here in a second. If you're not able to hear me correctly through your speakers, double check the volume on your computer or use the audio setup link to adjust that setting as well. If that's still not working, select the Use Telephone radial, and that will give you a phone number and PIN so you can call in. If you don't see this larger area, it has minimized to this little toolbar, and this will locate up to the right-hand corner of your monitor. Just select the red arrow button, and that will restore this larger area so you have full control. Next is the questions area. So if you have any questions, type those into the bottom here, select send, and you'll see the question and answer log right here. I'll be using the Home Designer Professional today. We do offer many different programs depending on your needs for the software. So most of the tools I'll use apply to all of the programs. So I'll try to mention anything that doesn't. And for our bathroom and lighting design, I'm going to get into how everything's laid out in the program. We'll draw walls. I'll show you how to dimension. We'll place doors and windows. With our bathroom, we'll get into a custom glass shower, built-in tub, and I'll show you how to do a vanity, place shelving, manipulate the lighting in the program. And again, if you have any questions, chat those in. So let's get started with Home Designer Professional. When you start up the program, you'll have a few different options. First is the new plan. So you can start out with a full new plan, open an existing plan, or you can select this Getting Started area to find additional help resources through our website and through PDF files. Once you select the New Plan option, you'll be able to select from a variety of different templates. So this is the default style. You'll notice that there are specific materials and styles with the cabinets. And if you work your way down, those will change, so if you have a specific style you need to start with, you can do that, or you can also manipulate the doors and cabinets throughout. This is also where you will determine whether you'd like to work in imperial units or metric units, so double check that unit before you get started. If you'd like to start with an existing plan, we do have different options. Select this Interior Templates, and these are existing plans that you can start with. If I select that efficiency bath, it will bring up a room with all of these elements, and then you can edit it from there. So I already have a plan open, so I'm going to hit cancel. Across the top, you'll notice our toolbar, and over on the right-hand side, we have our library browser, and in Home Designer Pro, we have another toolbar with our zoom and snap tools over here. All of those tools can be found through the different tool options across the top as well. So first of all, we have our select objects, pretty standard in any program. Next, we have our straight wall tool. Once I select the parent tool, I'll find all of my child options over on the right-hand side. This is called the Parent-Child toolbar. You can change that through your preferences in Home Designer Pro. Just hit the preferences and select Parent-Child, or you can also change it to a drop-down menu. And all of the other Home Designer programs, you'll find that under Tools, Toolbars. So feel free to change that up. I'm going to start out with our straight exterior wall. With the wall tool, you just single click and drag it out. So as I drag, you'll notice there are temporary dimensions that appear. So I have an idea of how long that wall is. I can then select that wall after I've placed that and select the temporary dimension that appears. So once I select that, a dialog box comes up and we can type in, well, I was pretty close. We're going to do 30 feet, 4 inches. Hit enter, and that will adjust the wall. I'm going to focus on just a specific area of the structure. I'm not going to draw out a full structure today. We'll just draw out a bedroom and a bathroom area. So of course you can continue working with that exterior wall. However, since we are only focusing on a specific area, the rest of it is contained in interior walls. So I'll single click on my interior wall option, click and drag, and we're just going to finish out this space. We'll just close this off. And once you connect all of your walls, a living area is defined and a roof is automatically generated. If you don't have a wall, but you still need to define an area, you can select this invisible wall tool. That will enable you to define an area without actually building structural walls. So in regards to our roof that's automatically created, if you don't need a roof, just click on the roof tool and select delete roof planes. However, if you'd like to keep that roof, but it does get a bit distracting with the dashed lines, we can turn that off. So let me get it into my display option. And with your display option, you are able to modify all of the different layers here. I'm just going to type in R to get down to my roof area. The plus means it's being used in my view, and the check means to display it. So I'm going to uncheck these next to the plus signs so they're not displayed in this view. So the Home Designer Pro has that little shortcut. You can also go to Tools, Display Settings, and Display Options. So let's get back into our wall tool. I'm just going to quickly draw out some more interior walls. I'm just going to drag this down. We're going to have some closets in here, so we can just drag those right across, and we'll have another room for the toilet. Alright, so now I have everything placed. Let's get into a 3D view to see what's been created. So in my perspective camera tool, we have a full camera, full overview. This will include the automatic ceiling that's created and the automatic roof. And then we have a dollhouse view. So I'm going to select the dollhouse view. This will automatically cut off the ceiling and roof that's been generated so we can see right into that room. So I'll select my Move Camera with Mouse tool. With this option, we do have a few different tools here. I really like the Mouse Orbit camera. You can just click and drag around and see the preview of your design. You can also pan. Here's a pan option. But a shortcut to panning is just holding down the scroll wheel on your mouse, and then you can pan the plan around. To zoom in and out, same thing with your scroll wheel. Just scroll up or down to zoom in and out. So it's pretty handy on that scroll wheel in the program. Little tips there. So let's change the colors. So first of all, I don't want my bedroom or exterior walls here, the outside interior, to be blue. So let's get into our library. I'm going to get into my Home Designer Core Catalogs. This will show me quite a few different folders, so I'll select the materials and colors. And let's just get into our generic colors. I'll pick a brown here. You can single click on that folder and get a preview of everything. And once you have a material selected, you can then bring your cursor right over onto the screen, single click, and it will change that entire room. Or you can single click on the exterior here and modify that. So full control over applying the different materials. And you can just do portions of a wall, and I'll show you how to control that when we do our shower. We can also modify the flooring. So I'm just going to zoom over top here and get into my flooring options. So that's still under materials. We'll click on flooring. Let's start out with carpet. I'd like to have carpet in my bedroom and my closets. So we'll do a light color and just bring your cursor right over onto the floor, single click, and apply that material. Next, let's get into our flooring in the bathroom, and I'd like wood flooring. We're going to do an oak, and we have a nice dark oak color here. So I'll select that material, single click on the flooring in both the rooms here for that to be applied. We can also adjust the different materials once they're placed. So when I select my Adjust Material Definition, that will change my cursor to a rainbow. You can then select the material. So for that wall color, if you wanted to change that wall color, right in here is the material. Single click on that color, and let's just adjust that to be lighter. Same thing with our flooring. You can select the flooring. You do have different control over the colors in here. Here's the pattern. This will show up in your orthographic view. We're currently in a perspective camera view, but we do have an orthographic view tool. So I'm going to change the direction of our planks. Just going to change that to 0 for the angle. And we need to change the texture as well. The texture will show up in the perspective views like we're in right now. So let's change that to 90. You can also modify the orientation of the flooring. You can blend it with different colors if you wanted to change the color. Full control over all those aspects. So I'll select OK, and that direction has been changed. We can also continue editing and adding different objects in this view. So let's get into our door tool. The door option includes the hinge door, doorway, sliding door, a pocket door, bifold, and a garage door. So I'm going to select the hinge door, and let's drop in a hinge door right into that bathroom area. You can then single click on that object. So any object in the program, once you single click on that, you'll see editing tools at the bottom of your monitor here, or you'll see them over on the left-hand side of your monitor, depending on which program you have. So we can open this door for specification, and we can get into the library, change the complete style of that door, or what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the width here. We'll do 60 inches. If you click into a different box or hit tab on the keyboard, that will update the preview. And as you can see, it automatically changes it to have 2 doors there. Under the options, you can also change that. We just have it to calculate automatically, but you can change that right in here. And then you have control over the swing options. We can show this door open in our preview if we want to. I'm just going to keep it closed so it doesn't get in the way when we're designing in the bathroom. But I'll show you how that works in a little bit with the shower. So full control over all of the different options, as you can see through the tabs. Now let's drop in a sliding glass door on the exterior. So same thing, just place your cursor right over that wall, single click, and drop that into place. All right, well, I'm going to get back into my 2D view, so I'm going to close this view. Just select this gray X up in the right-hand corner. Close that window, back to our floor plan. So let's continue working with our doors in this view. So back to our door tool, I'll use that hinge door. And when you place a door, you can single click and just simply place it, and it will drop right in there for you. And then you can select it and use your rotation tool to rotate the swing side, hinge side, whatever you'd like. Or if you already know where you want that position, just hold down your left click button and move your cursor around. So then you can position that correctly before you let go, and it's already done for you. I'm also going to place a pocket door into our toilet area here. So now I have everything placed, but not dimensioned. So let's dimension our rooms here. Another shortcut, just a tip here, is the space bar. That will get you right back to your select cursor. So space bar will eliminate any other tool and go right back to that arrow tool. So first I'm going to be using my temporary dimensions. So for my interior wall, just single click on that, and then single click on the temporary dimension that appears, and type in, we're going to do 18 feet here. Same with this outside wall, just single click, select that perpendicular dimension, type in 22 feet. Make sure you put the foot marker in there, otherwise it will think it's inches. So you can of course use those temporary dimensions or get into our dimensioning tools. Home Designer Pro has the most dimensioning options for you, but all of them will have the manual dimension, auto exterior. Most of them have the interior and the end-to-end. So you still have quite a few options to be accurate with all of the programs. Home Designer Pro just offers a bit more. I'll be using the interior dimension and just single click and drag it right through the structure. That will automatically locate to the interior of all of the walls, and then we can dimension. So single click on the wall and then the dimension line. We'll do 6 feet here. Change this guy to 11 feet, 2.5 inches. Enter. And we'll do, let's see, 5 feet, 6 inches. And that evens out to be the 6 inches at the bottom here. Then we can single click on that dimension line, just hit backspace on your keyboard, and you're set to go. And it looks like my door kind of moved around there when I changed that wall. So you can just select that, rotate, and rotate that door, move it up or down however you need to along the way. I'm also going to use that interior dimension tool one more time across through this room, and I'm going to make that a bit larger. Let's do 5 feet, 9 inches. There we go. Delete that guy, hit backspace on the keyboard, and we're set to go. So now that everything has been positioned, let's get into our full camera. With the full camera, I'll click where I'm standing and drag to my focus. And this will bring me into the room where you'll notice the ceiling has been placed and we're actually standing inside there. So let's focus in the corner and start with our glass shower. So I'm going to get into 2 different views. Under Window, you can tile vertically, and you'll notice that there are shortcut keys over here. So Shift F6 is what we'll be using to tile vertically today. So then we can see both views at the same time. Within Home Designer Pro, we have our Zoom Marquee tool over in the right-hand toolbar. You can find these right through the tool menu bar in the program if you don't have Home Designer Pro. So now that we're focused in our area a bit more, I'm going to select my wall tool, and we'll be using the half wall option to create our glass surround. So just like any other wall, just click and drag, click and drag. We're going to drop in those half walls. Then I'm going to multi-select. You can hold down Control on your keyboard to multi-select objects. And once they're selected, just go down to your editing toolbar and select that open object. So then we can get in here and change the wall type. We need that to be glass. So under the wall type drop down, you can select glass shower. And in Home Designer Pro and Home Designer Architectural, you can define your different wall options. So this one's set for 1/2 inch. You can, of course, change that if you need to. So we've changed the wall type. Now let's change the height of that. We're going to bring that up to 86 inches. And we can get into the materials. You can change materials in here, but I'm just going to leave those for now. I'll select OK. So that brings that up for us. Now let's get into the room. I'm going to select the room, open that up for specification through that editing toolbar. You can change that room type, change that name, and you can also specify your own name in here if you'd like to. Under the Structure tab, you have full control over your ceiling heights and floor heights. I'm going to drop the floor down a little bit to have a drop in that shower. So we're going to just go down 2 inches. Under the Molding tab, I don't want any molding in this room, so just uncheck Default. And of course, you can then change it if you'd like to, or simply delete. And then under the Materials, let's change that flooring. So we can select the flooring, select the library material. So that will bring up our full library. So we have full control over what we'd like to place. And I'm just going to scroll down here, get into our tile options, get into stone, and let's do a limestone. And that color looks good. All right, so once we select OK, that will modify in our design. Now let's add a door. I'd like to just add a regular door in here, and we'll just place that cursor right over the wall, single click, and it drops in a doorway. So what I'm going to do is double click on that door. Double clicking is the same as going down to that open object, so just a little time saver there. So first, under the door style, I need to change that to glass. And I would like to change that to a hinge door. I'd also like to change the thickness to 1/2 inch, just like the glass with our surround. And now let's get into different options. This time I'm going to mark it as Show Open. We can get into the casing options, but I'm just going to select the frame and lights and change that to 1/2 inch. We'll have a bit of a frame around this. And let's get into our hardware. So with the hardware, we'll open up the library and let's find something. Let's do a poll on this. And we can do a long poll. So we'll do the same for the exterior handle. Find that same hardware. And it's a bit low, so let's bring it up to 42 inches. And there we are. So it's hinging outward. Of course, we can change that. Let's just bring that in and over. And I'm just going to swing that closed a little bit more. So let's address some materials right now. I'm going to zoom around here. And holding down my scroll wheel, I'm just panning over. So we have some different materials going on. So we have a material eyedropper. With the material eyedropper, you can single click on the glass and you can see that it is a paint roller. The roller means it's going to blend the material with the texture. So down here, we can uncheck blend color with material, so it just changes that material to glass instead of blending it with whatever is assigned. And across the top, let's do this metal. Let's see if I can get it. It's awfully little. Let's see if I caught that. There we go. So I'll just apply that metal around the top. And now let's talk about a seating area and a niche area in this shower. So first I want to make sure our dimensions are correct. So I'm going to select my wall and let's change that to 8 feet. And change this guy, I'm going to do 5 feet here. And modify that. We can move that door a little bit over. So now let's create a seating area. So with the seating area, I'm just going to use a soffit tool. With the soffit tool in the cabinet options, you can pretty much manipulate this to be whatever you want to because you can apply any material to this. It automatically attaches to the ceiling because it is a soffit tool, but we can open this up and change a lot of different elements here. Let's change the depth to 19 inches and hit 0 for floor to bottom. So that brings it right down for us. And now let's create the niche area here for all of our bottles. To do that, I'll be using our window tool. And this is the pass-through option, very handy when you're doing any pass-throughs. And just bring it down onto your wall, just like any other window. Single click and drop that into place. So I'm going to double click on that window, the pass-through, to open it up for specification. We're going to change that width to 36 inches. The height we'll do 18. And let's see, floor to top, we'll do 60 inches and bring that down. Let's get into our casing. We can change that to, let's just do 1/2 inch. Oh, that was the exterior. Let's change the interior. 1/2 inch. There we go. So of course you can manipulate other areas here, but that's all I need for now. Select OK, and that will update. So it's going right through into our closet, so we need a barrier. And this time I'll be using our partition tool. I just want to show you all the different options and how you can manipulate these. So I'll select that partition tool, open that up for specification. For the height, we're going to do 18 inches. The width is 36. The depth we'll do 1/2 inch. And floor to bottom, this is a little different because the pass-through was floor to top, so this is going to be 42 inches. And we don't need to adjust according to the finished floor. So I'll just uncheck that. Alright, so now everything has been altered. And in Home Designer Pro, we have a quick tool down in our editing toolbar that says point-to-point move. So this one's pretty nice. We can just click on one point and the other, and it just matches up in there. Of course, you have full control over moving an object, just like any other item that I've been manipulating, but the point-to-point's awfully quick. Alright, so now we have a little bit more architectural design in here. Now let's talk about the wall covering. We need tile around instead of just our walls. So instead of selecting the whole wall and changing the wall covering on the entire wall, we just need different portions. That's what this break wall tool is all about. Select the break wall tool, single click on the wall, and all the intersections that you need. And then we can single click on that portion and just change that portion. I'm going to just hold down my control key again to multi-select. And we'll open those up and change the wall covering. So with the wall covering, just hit Add New to bring up our library. And then under our materials, we're going to find that same tile. So here's the tile folder in the limestone. And now it gives us different controls on the height. So we need this to be 88 inches because of our dip in the floor. And floor to bottom, 0. And you'll notice the top to ceiling will update, so it automatically calculates the differences for you. And there we are. So let's match our materials. In our 3D view, I'll select the material eyedropper again, and then just pick up that tile and paint it right on. And we can change that border as well. So you'll notice that there is a little 4-inch section of tile across the top. If you want to alter the orientation of your tile, simply select the Adjust Material Definition, single click on the tile, and under the Texture option, let's modify the Y-axis. We're going to bring that up 4 inches. Select OK, and you'll notice that that 4-inch section has been resolved. Everything's moved up 4 inches. All right, and then let's add one more detail. I'm going to just scroll down to My Library. I've been using the core catalogs. Those are the catalogs that come standard with the program. We also have some different bonus catalogs, manufacturer options, and then this user catalog. This option is pretty handy. You can create your own folders in here and then just copy and paste anything from the other folders in here if you use it frequently. So I'll select my folder and I'm going to add this fixture in the shower. And there we go. So we're done with our shower. Let's move on to our tub area. I'm going to close this view and we're going to open up a new view. So just click and drag, and I'm going to zoom on the other side. And I just hit Shift F6 again, and that adjusts everything accordingly. Okay, I'm a little too far. Let me reposition. I'm just going to do a dead-on area here. Shift F6 to reposition, and there we go. So first of all, I notice my door doesn't quite match, so I'm going to just use that material eyedropper, get everything to match up correctly here. And next, we are going to use our cabinet tools for the surround. You can definitely use the soffit tool like I did for the bench for a surround. But with these cabinet tools, it's kind of nice because there's an automatic backsplash. So let's just readjust. I'm going to manipulate these a little bit here. So let's open this cabinet for specification. First, I want the depth to be 7 inches. The width is fine, and the height needs to go down to 19 inches. With our countertop, no overhang. We don't need anything there. You'll also notice that there's a D. There's 1 inch and then D in parentheses. That means it's the default. So for instance, let's say we set this to 0, and then later we wanted to change it back to the default, but we don't remember what it was. Just hit D and it comes right back. So the overhang is at 0, toe kick is going to be at 0, and I do want backsplash to come up on the sides of the cabinet, so I'll check side. Alright, so the front. Let's select that front. Just hit delete and delete, and now you can see shelving. I don't need an opening, I need a blank area. Select OK. So that's been altered. And now let's match material. So back in our 3D window, just select the top there. Material eyedropper, our best friend. And I'm just going to go to the object mode. So it cuts down the clicks that I have to do. Alrighty, back in our 2D view, I'm going to select that cabinet and I'm going to copy it. Just going to paste it, just click out into no man's land. We'll paste that. Then I'm going to rotate and open that up for specification. I've already done a few calculations and I want that width to be 41 inches. So now my trusty point-to-point move tool. Click and click. And now I'm going to copy and paste that again. So with the copy and paste tool, the first time I just clicked out into no man's land, so you can do that, or you can bring your cursor right onto the square and drag it up. So that way everything is in line with the copied item. So that's an option. So let me select that large area, the large cabinet again, copy and paste, and I'm going to just do my point-to-point move tool this time. And there we are. There's our surround. So now we need a tub. So I found a tub through Kohler and imported it into the program. You are able to import different 3D objects, images, so you do have a lot of flexibility there. And with a single click, I'm going to drop that into place. And I'm going to rotate that so all of the fixtures will be on the other side. So now that we have this placed, you can, of course, move it just with your move tool. However, it will bump up into any other objects. So if you need to control this and just slide it right through, hold down your control key and you can do that. So control just eliminates any snap options and allows you to move freely. So it looks like we have it positioned pretty well. However, of course, you can use your center object tool at the bottom. Let's just make sure everything is centered here. Single click on the center object tool, bring your cursor over one of the cabinets, single click, and now it's centered perfectly. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Single click on the center object tool, and then right over that other cabinet. And now it needs a faucet. So I found this faucet just right through our library. You can just drop that on. All right, so now we have everything kind of completed with our bathtub surround. So let's add a window. So in this 3D view, I'm just going to select my window option. We have the standard window, bay window, a box window, bow window, and the pass-through that I used earlier. So with our standard window, I'm just going to place that right in here. And we can center in the 3D view as well. So I'll single click on that window, single click on the center object tool, place it right over my bath, single click again, there we go. All right, so let's talk about the hidden room here. So I'm going to select this door and open that for specification. And under the options, I'm going to show this to be open. In our 2D view, I'm just going to get back in here with the window tool. Works the same way as the door tool. Just place that right over the wall, single click to drop that in. And I'm just going to place a basic toilet in here. And we do have a variety of different fixtures that you can place in there. And we'll do an accessory. So get the idea of the toilet options. And now let's accessorize a little bit. I want to place a rug down here. We'll just rotate that around with the triangle tool and move that in. Then we'll have a little mat on the other side. And in our 3D view, I can apply my material. So with that green material, I still have my spray can on, so I can spray that right onto my rug and take off that texture. Or I can select that blend color with material, and it will keep that texture. And we can, of course, adjust that. My best friend, adjust material definition. I can select that color and make it darker. That looks good enough. And it's just letting me know I'm renaming things because I'm adjusting materials. And there we go. All right, so let's zoom around to the other side. So I'm going to close this view and create a new camera facing the other direction. So click and drag. And I'll just maximize this view for now. So in our 3D view, we can completely edit. So I'm going to get back into my cabinet tool. It automatically selects that base cabinet, but you do have the wall cabinet, full height, soffits, tools, and in the Home Designer Architectural and Home Designer Pro, you have custom countertop tools, so it does give you a bit more flexibility there. So with the cabinet, I'm just going to place that just by single clicking in the design. I'll single click on that cabinet again, and you'll notice the editing handles around the cabinet. I can select that bottom editing handle and move it up. You'll also notice that the temporary dimensions will alter, so I know that I have the accuracy in this view as well. Now let's open that cabinet, and I don't need any toe kick since we're not on the floor. And let's get into the front tab. Just single click on the preview, it'll take you right to the front tab. We're going to delete the drawer and single click on that door. We're going to change that to a left door. That's 12 inches. Hit tab to update your preview. And then in that blank area, let's change that to an opening. We'll also create a frameless cabinet with a full overlay at the 1/16 reveal. And under the door and drawer options, I'm going to change that to a plain door. We'll do a plain door for our drawers as well. And change the hardware. Let's get back in here and get into our pulls, and we'll just do a short. Let's see how this one goes. Let's do a short one. And you can notice it's a bit high on here, so let's change that to 3 inches. Hit tab. Yep, that looks a little better. Hit OK, and we're set to go. So I'm just going to copy this since I've made changes to the doors and all that. I'm just going to copy it and click one right next to it. Bump it up and open it for specification. And let's change this to have 3 drawers. I'm going to select the drawer option. Let's change this to 6 inches. Select that preview again and change that to a drawer. We'll do 6 inches here and have a larger drawer on the bottom. Change that to a drawer. So very easy to customize your cabinets. Select OK. We're set to go there. And I want to copy this cabinet and just flip it onto the other side. So in Home Designer Pro, we have a pretty handy tool. You select this copy and paste in place, and that enables you to then select reflect about object. So we've copied the same cabinet right on top of itself, and now I'm going to reflect it over this 3-drawer cabinet. So it's kind of like that center object tool. You just place your cursor right over that middle cabinet, single click, and it's flipped. So pretty easy there. Now let's add our sink. I have a vessel sink just saved in here from my core library. Just place your cursor right on top of that cabinet and it will place there for you. Let's make sure it's centered. So I'll use my center object tool again. I love this option in my 3D view because I don't get dead on very often. And for our mirrors, let's search for mirror. So you can search for different items in here. Gives you a lot of flexibility to kind of explore the different areas without going through the different folders. So I'll select this mirror option and just bring it right over. We're going to just drop it right on and do the same thing with the center object. Single click on the object and just use that center object tool to line it right up. Okay, I'm going to get back into my 2D view. I want to make sure my sinks match up with my wall. I have a feeling I did not snap them up there. So I'm going to pan over. Yep. Okay, we're just going to snap that back. There we go. All right, so those are all in line. Now let's talk about some different materials. So for our countertops, I want to get into one of our manufacturers. We have the Zodiac Quartz option, and I'll be using this antique pearl. So with our material painter, you have some different options. So down at the bottom here in the editing toolbar, we have component mode, which means you can just single click and just paint the countertop and not the backsplash. Object mode will be the countertop and the backsplash. Then we have room mode, so that will do everything that has this material in the room. So with one click, everything's updated, including that other backsplash. So if you want to change the material of all of those countertops that had that material in the whole plan, you can do that with one click. Or just in that floor, you can do that. So very easy when you're adjusting materials. You can just do it with one click if you need to. We can also match different colors. So for our cabinets, I'm going to select this Adjust Material Definition, single click on our cabinet, and I want to blend the flooring with this cabinet because I think it's too dark. There's some different red tones that are coming through in the flooring, so I want to blend that material so they match. So we select the Blend Material option, and this little guy is movable. So I'm going to select that eyedropper, bring it right down onto my flooring, and you can see it's kind of altering as I go. There's some different tones in here. I'll just select that and OK, and we'll see that update. So it has the same hues as our flooring. All right, well, let's get into just some basic lighting. Next in our library here is just kind of a sconce. And within Chief Architect software, the home designer programs, we automatically create a light source in the room before you even put any lights in there. So once you drop in a light, everything's going to change. That light source is not needed anymore because you're telling it where you want that light. So once you drop these in, it's going to alter how everything shows. You can also select a light, and in the editing toolbar, you'll see this off option. So just click off if you want to turn it off. Let's turn that back on and open it for specification. All of the Home Designer programs offer the general components, but the Home Designer Pro and Architectural get into a little bit more detail with the light data. This will give you different source controls. You can change the intensity, so we can drop this down. We can change the color of that. We can make sure it casts shadows. So full different options in here. So that has toned that down a bit. All right, so let's add some different shelving onto our wall over here. So I'm going to get out of this 3D view and work in an orthographic view. So let's get into an orthographic view. We'll use our orthographic view tool. This will give us a few different options. I'll be using the wall elevation. With this tool, you click and drag towards the wall that you'd like the elevation of, and that will bring it into perspective for us. Then we can get into the cabinet tools where the shelf is, and just bring that right down. So we can alter this, we can drag it out a bit. I'm going to open that up for specification and just change a few things here. Maybe just the height. We'll do 1.5 inches. And from here, we can then copy and paste. Let's get into our sticky mode. So I haven't talked about sticky mode yet. With the copy and paste, you can just paste it once unless you hit sticky mode. And then you can just copy and paste, and they're all good to go. So let's select one and just drag it down a bit. And we'll select another. And we can drag that up. We can also multi-select and move them at the same time. Just hold down that Control key to multi-select. Just gonna bring this up a bit, make it a bit more even. So from here, we can change the different materials. I'm just gonna use that material eyedropper. Select the cabinet. We're gonna match it with the cabinet. So we're still in room mode, which means with one click, it's going to change each shelf for us. And then we can place different objects on there. So I have a few different jars. So I'll select a jar and just drop it on to my floor here. And let's bring that up. And I'm just going to drop it right onto that shelf. So just hold down Control key to eliminate any snaps, and then you can modify that and drop it wherever you'd like to. And then we can just do that copy and paste. Let's put it in sticky mode, and I'll just do 2 more here. Select one, and we'll just bring that right down. Select another, and bring that up. So this way you can get them positioned correctly in the elevation views, which makes it a bit more efficient when you're placing items in here. And we'll just copy and paste that one again. Bring that up. And we'll just do some more. Sticky mode. Actually, maybe we'll just do one here. And I've placed that one so we can readjust it. So, oh my goodness, I'm sticky mode. Calm down on me here. So I can just select and delete when I get a little too crazy with my sticky mode option. And we'll just readjust that guy and get back into our object. And we can change that width. And let's go down to maybe 5, 5, and let's change that to 5 as well. And then we can open this guy up. So very easy to modify and change the different aspects that you want to. We can just go down, we'll change this one to the same 5, 5, and 5. So you can modify going through just that object, or you can resize in these views. So full control there. So let's close this view. I just like this view when I'm placing objects, and then we'll get back into that perspective view so we can see how everything's turning out here. And then we can apply the different materials. I'm going to uncheck blend with material, and I'm going to go back to component mode. So I just do one at a time. And then I'll do a few white ones. So since our sink is white, I'll just pick up that color. And there we are. So very easy to modify and accessorize your different designs. So now let's get into our mirrors. I would like to talk about how to place an image in your mirror. So I'm going to close out of this view. We're going to take 2 new views. So from the mirror, I'm just going to click and drag right out. So it's pretty straight. So this will bring up the view from the mirror. And I do want to make sure I bring my screen to a smaller area. So just drag out your library browser, or you can of course modify it in whatever program that you are going to edit this in. So I'm going to go to File, down to Export Picture. So I'm going to export this picture. We're just going to choose my desktop. Pretty easy there. And I'm just going to call this Mirror 1. Okay, let's get back into the plan view and do the same thing with our Mirror 2. Click and drag right out. Try to get it as close out as you can. And we will do the same thing here. File, Edit, Export Picture, and Mirror 2. Alright, so now I'm going to close down the software here for just a second and get into our Paint program. Okay, now that I have my Paint program open, I'm just going to open this up here. So we're going to open up Mirror 1. And in a mirror, we need to reflect this. So we need to flip this horizontally. That's why we're bringing it into a Paint program, so we can flip it. And then, of course, if you wanted to edit the size or anything, you can do that as well. But now let's just go ahead and save it and open up our next one. We'll do Mirror 2. We'll flip that horizontally and save it. Alright, so now we have these two images saved. So I'm going to close our Paint program and we are going to import these. I'm going to readjust my window here and I'm going to import them right into my user catalog. So under user catalog, you can create a new folder if you wanted new options, but let's import this new material. We're going to browse. We have our desktop. We're going to do Mirror 1. And I want to stretch to fit. I don't want it to tile across my mirror. I want it to stretch across the mirror. So we're good there, and I'll call this Mirror 1. Okay. Let's do this again. New material. We'll find Mirror 2. We'll call it Mirror 2. And we'll stretch to fit. So let's get into our 3D view here and apply some material. So material, Mirror 1, paint right on there. Material, Mirror 2, paint right on there. So it's just a material, just an image, you just paint it right on, and now you have reflective mirrors. So very easy to change that in your bathroom setting or wherever else you are. So I'd like to touch on a little bit more about lighting. I know we went over it just a bit, but let me close this library and open up two of our views and place a little bit of recess lighting in here. So across the top, you'll see our electrical tools, and this will include all of your outlet options. So you can do outlets, you can do all of your lighting, switch, connect electrical. So let's talk about our lighting. With the lighting, this is just a standard recess lighting, and we can just drop a few in here. Once we drop them in, you'll notice that that image updates as we place those around. So you do have that effect right away. You can then, of course, open them up, just like we did with the wall sconce, and edit that, have full control over all of those areas. So I'll open up our 3D view, and across the top you'll have a camera view option, and you can do a final view, which will clean up all of the jagged lines for you, and then you can do a final view with shadows. And the final view with shadows, depending on your computer, may take a few minutes, so I'm just going to bring up a picture that I've already done, and it will show you all of the different shadows that are applied, makes it a bit more realistic. So you do have capability to take it to another level with those different shadows. And then with some different rendering techniques across the top, you'll notice we have vector, which is line-based, glass house. So then you can see into the other rooms and see if anything is inhibiting your design. And we do have a watercolor option in this Home Designer Pro as well. All right, well, I wanted to show you a few different things on our website. So let me bring that up. This is our website, homedesignersoftware.com. So on our website, you can find many different training resources under the User Center through the training videos. On this page, you can either browse or search for specific terms. You can also single click on the specific program. So if you have Home Designer Suite, just click on the S and that will bring up all of the videos relevant to that product. You can also sign up for additional webinars like we're doing today. And then we have Home Talk. This is our users forum. This will enable you to talk with other users, get additional support over the product. It's a great community of users and employees here. We definitely interact on that. So definitely check out the users forum. Great information there. And we do have those additional bonus and manufacturer catalogs right under that content download. And you can browse through here. We have different furnishings, different countertop surfaces and tiles. So these are all of the 2012 release libraries. If you have an older version, you can definitely click one of these links to access your older library information. If you'd like to upgrade, we do have upgrade discounts. Right under Shop, just click Upgrades and Discounts. This will allow you to choose your existing product and version and receive discounts on getting another level up or just the newer version of your existing software. Or give us a call. We can talk about the different options for you, different discounts, and get you into the right product. If you have not used our product before, we do have a trial version of the Home Designer Pro. So that's the one I used today. And if you select Products Pro, select Download Free Trial Version, and you can work with it. There's no time limit on it, but you won't be able to save or print, so it'll be a great resource to kind of get a feel of the software and see if it's going to work for your needs. You can also compare products right here as well to see all of the differences between the different options. There's one more area I wanted to show you, and that's the help database. This is a great area to find different help articles. So, for instance, multiple wall coverings to have different layers on there, kind of like I did with our shower. But a little bit more in depth. They'll bring up the different help articles for you. And this one, for instance, how to change the color or material on a single wall. And that will walk you through how to do that. And it will even get into further details down the road here of getting into more options. So definitely check out the website for any help resources or upgrading, or give us a call. We are open Monday through Friday, so we're here to help you out with getting you into the right product. They are based off of our professional grade software. The technology behind them is very robust to give you that control that you need in your designs. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. We support all of our products. Whether it's a new purchase or an upgrade, you still have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And definitely check out those help resources through the website with the videos, help database, users forum. Give us a call or email us if you have any more questions about the software. If you do have more questions about what we went over today, you can still chat those in. We're going to be on for a little bit longer here. Just select that red arrow up in the right-hand corner of your monitor, and that will restore this larger area. Just chat in anything that you have, and we'll be on for another couple minutes. Thank you so much for attending. It was a pleasure going over the program with you. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks so much.